Hello, beautiful ones. Oh, full moon, eclipse love, Beltane love from those friends in the southern hemisphere, and Samhain Halloween love to those in the northern hemisphere. Here we are. I feel this massive portal that we've been in, and it's funny, I've only been able to really articulate it in the last few days as we've got closer to this full moon, this portal of deep transformation. And I guess the testing of how do we hold ourselves even when you know it feels like the foundations are falling away. How do we hold ourselves in the grief of all that has happened and all that we are being called to let go, because it's not good for us, or it's not serving our highest good. How do we hold ourselves in all the things, all the cosmic energies, the earth energies, the community and collective energies, our own energy, those that we're caring for? How do we hold ourselves here when we are feeling like, in our messiness? And what has really shown up recently and been very loud is, how do we hold ourselves in a hollow bone? And um, and that's really interesting. I think it comes with a bit of a warning that, when we call in the hollow bone, to be clear that you call it in with gentleness and grace, because calling in a hollow bone can really knock us for six, because it's like the universe is responding to that and will show up everything that will show us where we're not the hollow bone, which can be quite harrowing. And to just as a disclaimer, when you start calling the hollow bone, but this hollow boneness, what is the hollow bone? It's the ability to hold ourselves even when everything seems like it's about to crumble, to hold ourselves even when the shit is fucking hitting the fan, and to hold ourselves with these deep roots and unfuckable with presence that we can show up in, especially those, I think, who are caring for others. So, parents especially, to hold their children in all their stuff that they come in, and all the things, especially the last 2 years, like these children and what they've had to hold. Like, my biggest worry when I was 12 was to bloody, what bike I was going to wear and what helmet or whatever, and what neighborhood kid I could play with when I went out after school. These kids, fuck, they're just, yeah, they're yeah, it's massive. It's so massive. And I think that we're just starting just to see the impact of what has happened in the last 2 years, with our young people and ourselves. But yeah, anyway, that aside, I think, this eclipse portal calling us to really show us where we need to grow deeper roots, and to ensure that we're not going to get knocked down in the slightest of breeze. I get the feeling that, looking ahead in the astrology and what's to come, that whatever happened in 2020 ain't over yet. We there's still, there's a little bit of space in between here to organize ourselves ready for the next wave of fuckery, whatever that might look like. So, I think this eclipse portal between Scorpio and Taurus, is showing us, how do we hold ourselves here, when everything feels like it's falling down, or the structures that are falling down. How do we hold ourselves in the deep rootedness, deep into the earth, and keep ourselves connected to the cosmos and divinity, and bring it and be in the conduit of the divine here on earth. how do we do that? And I just want to thank our tree folk for showing us that the importance of cultivating roots that connect deep into the ground and that connect with this mycelium network to community with other trees to find out, to where is the best resources and how do we support each other in that. And it's been really interesting in the last couple of weeks with the weather here. It's been very wet, lots of rain. The land has really, been deeply soaked. And from that, we're seeing a lot of trees down. And those who have fallen down upon investigation, looking at the roots and finding out how did that tree fall down, is usually the roots have been rotted, or they're just holding on by a thin sort of like piece of fiber. So how do we, what do we need to do so our roots are not rotting, and so we can hold ourselves in this, when the big downpour comes, or when those big winds whip up, to have deep roots. And I think some of the ways that I find myself, and how I've cultivated deep root growth is several ways. One is always connection back to the earth, taking that time to look at the beauty, the natural beauty that is here and all around us, to find the joy and the laughter, or like searching for the love, searching for the joy, even in the bleakest of moments, of just going, okay, so where is the joy here? Where, and it could be, the sun just trickling through, some kind of patch in a window, and just looking for this beauty that is always here, and we just to look for it. Community, community is really important. And if you don't have a community, there is lots of circles and places out there you can connect to. I really encourage you to do that. And looking ahead with the astrology, I think that's going to be becoming more and more important to find and be in community. I get the feeling that we're going to need really each other for the resources, basic resources. Yep, that's that I keep hearing the time of the lone wolf is over. This is the time to come together, and I think that's going to be more and more important and obvious that that's what we're going to need to do. So community. What else? Doing shadow, and that feels very cliche to say this, but my teacher Jane Hardwick Collins, always talks about know thyself, know what your triggers are, know your birth story. Like, we're in this middle of this grand birthing process. Where are the points that you stumble on? Where are the points that you needed intervention? Where are the points that it flowed in your own birth of you? And it doesn't matter who you are, male, female, or anybody in between. Know your birth story. That's so important. And then know what your sacred wounds are. Know what triggers you. It's so important to know who you are, and to know what bits are going to trip you up. What bits are your loyal soldiers going to react? And so your loyal soldier is the part of you that still thinks it's a child that's in danger, for example, or still being hurt, even long after the danger is gone, and that loyal soldier is there to protect us. But the event of our trauma or whatever, when it happened when we were younger, is over, and we're now adults. So, just to feel that and to go, okay, I know when I see other people together and I feel lonely, and that triggers my little girl because I was left really lonely, for example. So to know that and to discern, is that really what's happening now? So to know yourself is so important, and there's so many avenues on how to do that, you know, whether it's through counseling or you know, astrology is really good to know, you know who you are. It's like your birth imprint, and it shows you so much if you have a good astrologer, especially looking at your Chiron wounding, and to know what bits are going to rock you and which bits are really solid, and where you can draw on yourself to hold, you know, to help grow those roots. So there's many ways that we can cultivate deep root growth. But and you'll know if you come into your heart and just really listen, and just deep listening to what you're being called to do and what you're being shown, and getting yourself as a witness perspective, you know, to know that things are not, you know, you're not, we have this capacity to be able to step outside ourselves and just watch what we're doing and watch what's happening around us and to us, and to really watch ourselves in that. So inviting in the witness perspective, that bird's eye view, to look down and just go, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? You know, it reminds me when I first became a mother and I could hear myself, you know, playing out this wounded maiden, and I could just see it, and I was like, what is this, and why is this here? And it was just like, oh my God, it was like watching a train wreck at times, you know, like, you know, things clashing. But to be able to witness that and take a step back and hold ourselves here, and it's a, you know, I think the more that we're able to do that, you know, that's going to be a fucking good skill to have later on, if, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But to be able to hold ourselves in a witness perspective and just to go, so how can I do this better, or how can I hold myself here in love and tenderness, and attend to that part of myself that's being rocked by this. So I feel like I'm just waffling on. Yeah, anyway, so my take home lesson from this eclipse portal, and so eclipse portal 1 is to feel, you know, to witness myself and to hold myself and cultivating deeper roots, and to know that when I'm getting wobbly, that's a sign that I need to grow roots deeper, which has shown me quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, because it's been a bit wobbly and quite messy and feeling scattered. And to, what do I need to do to come back to myself? Well, belly on the earth. I need to come back to looking at the beauty and, you know, just being in the garden, these things that connect me back into this solid earth, into my roots. Also in this portal, which is more so a Beltane portal here in the Southern Hemisphere, is actually bringing the shoulders up and back and coming into heart and breathing in the yes to life, yes to love, yes to all the good things. And when I'm feeling that, oh, you know, that bit that it just goes, oh, why can't I say yes to that? You know, that's a clue that there needs to be more work, or there's something that lays there. That's been a very good practice in this Beltane portal, of just saying yes to the good things, yes to love, yes to beauty, and just really breathing it. Like, I feel like this embodiment, which is Beltane, which is, you know, that it's in the body. We celebrate us in the body here on earth at Beltane, and breathing in that yes, that big yes to life and to love, because, you know, ultimately, isn't that why we're here, is to love and to find joy and beauty? And if we're not doing that, you know, what do we need to do to get to that point? And what is standing in our way to be, you know, saying yes to love? Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for sticking it out for this long, 15 minutes. So a couple of things. So I'm, if you're looking to do, to dive deeper into who you are and find out more about you and all the things that stand in your way from saying yes, this great big yes to love, to your divinity, I offer counselling, and that is done both online and face to face. So face to face here in Central Highlands, Victoria, and Australia, and that's usually done in the forest, which is so powerful. We've got the Invoking Inanna journey, which is a journey that goes through the underworld and answering, listening to the dark goddess. The dark goddess is the part of ourselves that calls for us saying true yes to love, to ourselves, and authenticity and power. To step into who we really are, and that is a group journey that starts on January 2023. And that's like a 6-month journey where we go down and see where all our blockages are that we need to let go. And week by week, we journey this journey through the myth of Inanna, through going through the gates, and what do we need to let go of, that stands in our way from sitting in our power of who we really are. What is standing in our way, to saying that big fucking fact yes to love for ourselves and everything around us, in between us. So that's happening, and because it's a group, it's so powerful, when we're all doing it together. It's an intimate group, so it's like a maximum of 11 of us that journey together, and and we have 2 face-to-face gatherings. We have an immersion day where we sit with Mother Nature for the day, and we have a closing gathering, which is all about, what we've learned and the light and, that full embodiment of love. If you jump on the Temple of Inanna, which is Instagram page, the Temple of Inanna, you will see our recent closing gathering from our butterfly journey, and we all have a power animal for each journey. This one I'm teaching with Ellie Riverstar. This one in January we're journeying with Eagle, which is very powerful. Again, teaching us to fly high and to have this bird's eye view of the landscape. Like, it feels like we're being called to really come to that witness perspective, or that hollow bone, to witness ourselves from a really high perspective. So that's going to be fun and powerful. So join us for that. And Shamanic drum making. Tash and I are part of the Red Thread Healing Group. We are running a shamanic drum making here on this land in Central Highlands, Victoria, Jojo country, which is all about stepping in and knowing thyself in your birth story. How do you do birth? How do you process, the beginnings of something? And it could be anything. It could be a beginning of how to birth yourself. If you're starting a career or you're starting a new project, how... where are the parts that you get wobbly a bit? Where are the parts that you can just power through? Where are the parts that you need to rest? What do you need to do post-birth? Is there something there that, your mum had postnatal depression, for example? How is that playing out in your birth process? It's such a powerful weekend together. And because we're making a medicine tool, a very powerful tool and instrument that we can use to, help other people and help the earth and support, this powerful witness perspective. And and every beat of those drums, all the power and the journey that went into making the drum, and who you are, and the time of the year, and all the imprints of these drums will be rippling out. And we do lots of magic within those weekends, and it's coming together in community. We share meals, and you know, it's really powerful, and they're just getting more and more epic, these weekend drum making journeys. So the last one, you know, last few of them have just really just you're almost sitting there, oh my God, you know, just seeing this wild magic come through. I mean, we've been calling it in, and it's showing up. So that's exciting. So that's happening on the first weekend of December, and you can find more about that at again, Instagram at Red Thread Healing, or you can always contact me at Yvonne Wildheart, or one word, on Instagram, social media, for more information on any of that. Yes, I think that's it for now. Thank you for listening. I hope that hasn't been too much of a waffle, but you know, these are powerful times, and you know, and I think they're just going to get even more powerful. And how do we hold ourselves, and how do we say yes to the awesomeness that is available, becoming more available to us? And you know, and we have a choice here. Are we going to be rocked by it, or are we going to go with it and move with the winds, but still keep our deep roots and being grounded? Oh, I forgot to mention the e-courses. So I've still got the Beltane e-course up there, which is all about this time of year here in the Southern Hemisphere, and what's coming up is summer solstice, so that is also there. And there's a couple of awesome things that are about to be released, which I'm very excited about, so stay tuned for that. Okay, I think that's it. All right, from my beautiful heart to your beautiful heart, so much love, and may your roots be strong, and your love be strong, and may you say yes to all the goodness and all the beauty and all the awesomeness that is here waiting for you. Okay, thank you. Bye.